On the news, President Tinubu writes to the National Assembly again, seeking a $2.3 billion external loan. World Bank says over 139 million Nigerians now living in poverty despite economic reforms. Pope Leo calls on youths to become active artisans of peace. Minister resigns over allegations of certificate forgery. In addition, we have the exchange rates and weather report. Stand by now for the details.
Welcome to the news on the hour on Providence Television International. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa. President Bola Tinubu has again written to the National Assembly seeking approval for fresh external borrowing of $2.3 billion. The request contained in a letter read on the floor of the House of Representatives by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas on Tuesday seeks legislative approval for external financing to implement the 2025 Appropriation Act, refinance maturing Eurobonds, and expand Nigeria's debt instruments to include Islamic finance products. President Tinubu further disclosed that $9.27 billion in the new borrowing plan is to address budget deficit. The World Bank has expressed concern that despite Nigeria's recent economic stabilization efforts, over 139 million citizens are now living in poverty, warning that the country risks losing reform gains if they fail to translate into tangible improvements in people's welfare. The World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Matthew Vegas, disclosed this on Wednesday in Abuja at the launch of the October 2025 Nigeria Development Update titled From Policy to People, Bringing the Reform Gains Home. The Nigeria Development Update is the World Bank's biannual report that reviews economic trends, policy outcomes, and key challenges facing Nigeria. Vegas emphasized that Nigeria's economic improvement policies are yet to translate into improved living conditions for Nigerians, stating that many households are struggling with eroded purchasing power. He called on the Nigerian government to focus more on reducing inflation, utilize public resources with accountability, and expand social protection coverage for the poor and vulnerable. In a message for the 40th World Youth Day celebration, Pope Leo XIV has called on young Christians to become active artisans of peace, urging them not to follow individuals who use the words of faith to cause division. Remarking on the theme of this observance, the pontiff noted that Christian youth should at all times see themselves as pilgrims of hope and be prepared to be courageous witnesses of Christ. The annual Youth Day, celebrated by churches at the diocesan level, takes place on the 23rd November 2025 in preparation for the global gathering in Seoul in 2027. President Bola Tinubu has formally accepted Professor Mahmood Yakubu's departure as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission following the expiration of his second and final tenure. Following the development, the president is set to name Yakubu's successor after the Council of State meeting in Abuja on Thursday, where he will present the list of nominees for the coveted number 1 electoral umpire position. Yakubu on Tuesday handed over to May Agbamuche Mbu, a seasoned legal expert who has assumed the role of acting chairman pending the appointment of a substantive successor. In recognition of his service, the president conferred upon the ex-INEC boss the national honor of Commander of the Order of the Niger. The former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Geoffrey Naji, who resigned from his post on Tuesday following controversies surrounding his academic records and allegations of certificate forgery, has stated that his resignation was a decision to protect his integrity and prevent distractions to the federal government's renewed hope agenda. Naji's resignation was confirmed on Tuesday by the presidency. He maintained that his decision to quit was not an admission of guilt, but a move to uphold due process and respect ongoing judicial proceedings after deep consultations with family, associates, and well-meaning Nigerians. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions have declared a one-day protest for Thursday over the federal government's failure to meet their demands. Acting under the Joint Action Committee, both unions have directed all branches to hold joint emergency meetings on Wednesday to mobilize members for protest activities. These will include marches on campuses, placard displays, and press briefings. Former spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar during the 2019 presidential campaign, Segun Showunmi, has called for a renewed commitment to professionalism and ethical standards in Nigerian broadcast media. Showunmi condemned what he described as the growing lack of professionalism among television hosts, stating that when anchors abandon professionalism for provocation, it becomes the duty of the station's management to call such anchors to order. He further emphasized that freedom of expression should not be mistaken for freedom of abuse. Team Nigeria produced an outstanding performance at the 2025 Africa Zone 2 Swimming Championship in Accra, Ghana, with teenage sensation Aidon Dumuije Abili setting 5 new continental records and leading a new generation of Nigerian swimmers to a historic outing. The 14-year-old dominated the junior category, winning 6 gold medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze, to emerge as the most valuable junior athlete of the competition. His exceptional form lit up the pool as he powered through multiple events, shattering records. And now to the weather forecast. The weather forecast for Thursday, 9th October in Abuja. There will be thunderstorm with temperatures of 29 degrees Celsius. In Lagos, thunder showers are expected with a temperature of 29 degrees Celsius. In Benin, there will be light rain with temperatures of 26 degrees Celsius. In Port Harcourt, there will also be heavy thunderstorms with 29 degrees Celsius as temperature. In Kaduna, it will be mostly cloudy with a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. In Enugu, heavy thunderstorms are expected with temperatures of 27 degrees Celsius. In Sokoto, it will be sunny with a temperature of 36 degrees Celsius. And in Washington, it will be cloudy with a temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. In London, it will be mostly cloudy with temperatures of 18 degrees Celsius. In Johannesburg, light rains are expected with a temperature of 24 degrees Celsius. In Rome, it will be mostly cloudy with temperatures expected at 24 degrees Celsius. And in Paris, it will be partly cloudy with a temperature of 18 degrees Celsius. And the exchange rates: 1 United States dollar presently stands at 1,472 naira, 1 euro 1,713 naira, 1 British pound 1,977 naira. The Canadian dollar, its equivalent in naira, is 1,055. The Australian dollar, 969. And that's the news on the hour on Providence Television International. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.